What are your thoughts on just like, because I've seen you in the comments.
I get hell for it.
You get hell for it, but
Yeah.
but just like, you know, with Trump, I feel like, you know, I think that we have like a 4-year example of him being president.
We already know what it was like under
And
him.
we didn't get any new wars.
And now we know what it was like under Biden too.
Right. Exactly. Right. So, you know, I always tell people, I'm like, look, man, like either side's not the boogeyman. We're still here.
Yeah.
Right. He didn't take over the government. He left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we weren't in any new wars. Like it's okay to give credit where credit's due. I think some people get wrapped up in the meanness of him.
Everybody tells me, Magic, don't talk politics. Don't get into politics. Don't do it. Don't start, saying you're a Trump supporter. But let me just bring it to the very basic. You know, is I was born in Mexico, bro, and so I came to America, and when my dad and mom broke up, the government took care of me. The government gave us food stamps. The government gave us free cheese. Powdered milk.
Yeah, you had to go to get the WIC
to survive. This is where I come from, right? And so this country gave me something good. So obviously I love this country for what it's given me. I'm living the American dream.
For sure.
I'm living the American dream.
Quite literally.
Because we have free enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
You're living the American dream. Like this podcast, you don't have to get a government permission to start your podcast.
Right.
So what the left is doing, they're moving closer and closer to controlling everything. They're moving, when I say the left, I mean the Democratic Party right now. Okay? So that being said, that's why I love to keep what was good for this country. And a lot of people are emotionally driven. And so when the left tells you, oh, he's racist, that gets you emotionally like, oh my God, he said this about blacks. Oh my God, he did this to the Mexicans. Oh my God, he hates people that are crossing the border.
Right.
But the people that were crossing the border when I came across, they really wanted the American dream. The people that are crossing the border now, they want to murder Americans.
This guy, who is Magic, by the way?
MC Magic, he was a singer. It looks like now he has his own label record, and he produces artists. But he was pretty big, bro, like in the Latin community with like his gangster songs, but it was more about love and shit. But I love what he touched right there, because I know you were talking about earlier about some shit that's going down in Denver, about Venezuelan gangs, and obviously we saw what happened in New York where Venezuelan gangs were killing police officers as well. So it's crazy that what he states there is that like back then when people were coming, there was for the American dream, and the people that are crossing now are really here to murder Americans.
So I want to be clear and very careful with how I say this, because number one, I'm Latino, like him. And the first thing I'll say is that not everybody that is crossing our borders currently is bad.
Right.
I will say that a lot of the people that are crossing the U.S. border right now, we don't know who intentions. They are. We don't know their intentions. There is record of terrorists, of criminals from other countries that have been spotted by cameras that we know that are here. And it's like, okay, well, if we're going to allow people to come here, why are we allowing the bad people to come here? And it's a very touchy subject for me because, and I like how he started it off. Shout out to MC Magic, because he's being very transparent. He said, I was born in Mexico. When they broke up the family here, it was the government that took care of me. And that I relate to that, because if I can be transparent, like my family came here illegally. And I'm here because of that. Like I'm American because I was born on American soil, but like I'm one of 4 Americans in my family, so we're more Honduran than anything. So it's a touchy subject, because when Trump talks about like closing the border fully and not allowing immigrants to come here, it's like, damn, if that would have been applicable back then, like would I even be here? I don't know. That's obviously in the past, but I think a couple things. Number one, what he's saying about how the left and Democrats, and I got to say that the right does this as well, and I don't think it's a good strategy on either side, but when they start attacking the person, I think that's a bad approach. Charlie Kirk, shout out to Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA. I saw he said something very key today, where he was at DNC, the Democratic convention.
I know what you're talking about.
And
he told him to focus more on the policies,
yes, sir.
instead of attacking
exactly.
the person.
So he talks about how listen, a person is temporary, everybody's flawed. You got to look at the policy. When we're going to talk about candidates here, when we're going to talk about someone that's going to run this nation, yes, I mean, should we do a background check on someone? Yes. Should we look at their history and what they're like as a person? Sure, of course that matters. But let's talk about policy. Like,
what
right
are they
now,
putting in effect?
Yeah, what's gonna happen? And just, I'm not saying Trump is the best. I'm not. You know, but he brought up an excellent point. We've had 4 years of Trump already.
We got a taste of both roads.
We've had a taste of Trump 4 years and Biden 4 years. I gotta say, bro, that like, and look, thanks to the Most High, to God, and you know, to our business. Everything's been fine for me, but I know people that are struggling. They're struggling so much under the Biden campaign, living in LA, the homelessness.
Everything's going up.
Right now, again, with the topic
Groceries.
he just brought up, with people crossing the border now with different vision, different intention,
Motives.
where back then it was the American dream. Damn, I want to go to the U.S. for a better life, to, you know, make something of myself and be able to help my family back home. Now it's like we're having, and I hate to bring up specifically this country and this gang, but the Venezuelan gang specifically, they are right now all over the news. And I'm not saying everybody from Venezuela that is coming over here is bad, but these Venezuelan gangs specifically are taking over certain areas, and they're killing people, they're raping people, they're just not here contributing to the American society. And I think that's a major thing, that if someone's going to come here, like, you know, it's like kind of what we were talking about earlier, like us bringing value to people and people bringing value to us. It's like, okay, well, America's going to give you this. What are you going to provide for the U.S.? What kind of value you're going to do? And if you're going to come here to kill U.S. citizens and rape it, you're not, you don't,
you're not contributing to this country.
You shouldn't be
in the right
here.
way.
You shouldn't be here.
But on that note, bro, I think what a lot of people don't understand is that in Venezuela, in this country particular that you're mentioning, is over there they're giving them these people that are prisoners the ultimatum: either you stay here and you do your prison time, or we're gonna let you go, but we never want to see you here again. So what's happening is these gang members are getting out of prison, are given that ultimatum, and are coming here to the United States. And whatever they were doing over there, they're starting to do it over here.
Right, because these people are criminals, and I'm talking about the Venezuelans, the Venezolanos that were in jail. I'm talking about them. I'm not talking about, you know, regular population, good civilians.
I've actually met some really rich Venezuelans where I was like, oh shit, like it gave me a different perspective. But also, that this is the whole different.
It's every country. Every country has good and bad. Just like I'm not saying the U.S. is perfect. We've got our share of criminals here as well. But Dr. Phil, he's doing an interview with, I know he just did one with Trump, but there's someone else he was doing an interview with where he pointed out that, like, you know, he brings up Venezuela, and he brings up how their jails are almost empty. And it's like, well, where did all of these prisoners go?
Over here.
They came fucking here.
Because they were given that ultimatum. Either you stay here.
But not just that, right? It's not just Venezuela saying, hey, you stay here or you go. That's part of it, but the other part is the Biden administration with the open border. Because it's one thing for your country to be like, hey, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
But it's another thing for you to come in here because we're letting you in.
Yeah. And they know about the open borders. So
right.
Like,
It's like,
I'm going to go to the U.S.
It's so easy to get in. Right now, it's like fucking anybody can get in. And like, you know, there's shades of gray in that because, again, me being coming from an immigrant family, it's like, fuck, like, you know.
And to be real, bro, I get a lot of shit for it because obviously, you know, my parents, excluding my mother came here because there was a tragedy in Honduras, and at that time there was a relief, and she was
asylum.
She was able to come over here with a worker permit, etc. My dad obviously came in illegally. That's different. But I get a lot of shit, bro, because I stand with the border. I stand with let's protect our borders, you know. But I'm looking at more from the perspective of the people that are coming in with bad motives.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at it as the person like that was once my father. And I love how he said that people were coming into this country with for the American dream, where today it's not that.
Right.
We got people coming from all over the place, and there's some really bad people that are coming into our country right now that I feel that are planning something, you know.
And it gets worse. It gets worse. I don't know how much you've looked into this, but here's more disrespect to America and our own people, to us, me and you and Bryson, U.S. citizens. Like, it gets worse because, like, back then, you know, yeah, they came with the American dream, and they would have to earn their way up. They would have to earn and learn English and acquire rights and get their driver's license and get their green card and get U.S. citizenships. There's a whole process that would take years. Right now, bro, in this state, in California, they're literally giving them driver's licenses. They're giving them the right to vote. They're giving them so much money. Like, I don't know if you knew this, but right now, if you're an illegal immigrant in California, they'll give you
a place to stay.
They'll give you a place to stay. They'll pay for your hotel, but they'll give you your down payment to purchase a home.
That's crazy. Now, let me ask you,
family. I just want to say, I have family in the U.S. that didn't come. Now they've been here for years, that don't own a home. And you're telling me that some of these newcomers,
you're going to help them,
and some of these newcomers with bad intentions that are already harming our communities, killing our people, you're going to give them money?
So let me ask you this, Marlon. What do you think is the motive behind this? Why are they doing this now and not before?
Well, I share an opinion that a lot of people on the right share, and I'm part of a group chat with some friends, and we called this a while back. I was able to read into this, and what we said back then, which is just coming to light now, is that the Democrats need more votes. I think that, you know, what MC Magic is saying, we saw 4 years of Trump. They weren't the greatest years, but we didn't enter any wars. Inflation wasn't that crazy. People could still make a living. Things were all right. It's you know, one thing about Trump is call him what you want, but he does put America first. And it's like,
he was taxing China. China was paying.
It's like, bro, we're American. Like a lot of these people don't realize that, like, if you're going to have a president that's not going to put you first, they're going to put foreign countries, foreign entities.
Which we're seeing right now.
Yeah, they're going to prioritize other people. Like, they're going to forget about you. That means they don't care that much about you. They care more about the money that they're getting maybe from China or Russia, whatever. That is dangerous. That is evil. That is, I mean, I'll say it feels like treason. Like, you work for that team. You play for that team. Like, you're
selling
secretly,
our country.
You're selling out, bro. You're selling out for money. You might end up being rich, but you're fucking everybody else over. And unfortunately, some people are too blind to see that. Unfortunately, it's working. They attack Trump so much. He's racist. They can't even look past that. They get so caught up with Trump being this and that.
He's just said it. They're emotionally driven.
The emotion, they get so angry, and how could we ever elect Trump that they don't look at policy? They're not looking at.
It's funny, bro, because, you know, when people say all this about, I'll be like, okay, so what is it about his policies that you didn't like? Oh, well, he's a racist. Well, what about his policies say that he's a racist? Or what? Oh, he's trying to deport Latinos. Okay, well, who deported the most people in their presidential term?
Yeah.
Oh, Obama. Okay, well, was he a Republican or a Democrat?
Yeah, and
so it gets tricky, you know. So,
and it goes both ways. Again, I'm not here to say Trump is the best, Trump is perfect. Hell no. Like, definitely Trump says some things that are like, probably shouldn't have said that, Trump. But you know, it's like, well, who's gonna put America in the best? I think that's the question. I think people should really ask themselves, with Kamala Harris right now and Donald Trump, you know, really study. Okay, well, what is she gonna do?
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Or whoever, but we know, you know, Kamala and Donald are in the lead right now. Ask yourself, where is America? Is America going to be in a better place? Not just in one, but study all the areas, like you know, financially, with the economy, with people's rights. MC Magic is right on it. He's saying the left, the Democrats, they want more control. Right? What does that mean, guys? If you can't capture what that means, it means They literally
take more of our rights.
Yeah, they want to control your life. You know, like he said, like we're able to run like us. We're able to run a podcast without having to check in with the government, this and that. They want to keep track of everything. And it sounds nice, right? Like Kamala just talked about like controlling food pricing. It sounds nice. Like, yeah, damn, it would be great if food would, not go up beyond this price, but it all comes down. It's a trap. It's a trap to control you. And if
put us in a system where we could only buy a certain amount of food or something like that.
If they're not willing to put America first, why the fuck, excuse my language, but why the fuck would they put you first?
Exactly.
They're not putting the country first, but you think they're going to put you first?
I mean, this is my opinion, bro. My opinion is going to be crazy as fuck, but I feel that the reason why they send so much money to these foreign countries is because it's a way of them washing their own money that they're going to fucking pocket.
It's possible.
That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I think there's definitely money behind there.
Billions of dollars over here, and then when you fucking retire, you have all this money all of a sudden. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, so it's just really sad. It's really sad to see. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's a slap to our face where we've had a lot of U.S. citizens that have worked so hard to, save their money and acquire. We all know, I mean, at least for us, like we didn't grow up with a lot of money. I know everybody's different, but for us, where I come from, our families, I'm sure you can relate. Like how many, if I were to ask you right now, you don't have to answer, but if I ask myself, how many people in our families own a home? Not that many. Less than 5.
I mean, the majority of my family had to move to fucking Arizona to be able to do that shit.
Right, because it's more feasible over there. And now they're saying, hey, welcome, guys. You guys just got here. You've been here for 20 days. We're going to pay your hotel. They're kicking people out. In Denver, they're kicking people out of their own homes so these immigrants can move in. I'm all for people getting a better opportunity, but there's a process, and you gotta pay your fucking dues.
And that money to top it off is coming from our fucking taxes.
Right. That's our money. It's our taxpayer money.
I saw a video recently of this person in San Diego talking about that, like how much is the cost for these people to stay in these hotels, and where is this money coming from? This money ultimately is coming from our fucking tax dollars.
Like, I don't want to pay for that. And it's no hatred, but like for the people that are coming here for the American dream, they're seeking asylum. That's a different story. I feel like my heart feels for them. I have compassion. But for the people that are coming to bring violence and essentially destroy what we've built, you're an enemy. You shouldn't be here. You should go back. So
I agree.
It's just twisted, man.
Play it a little more. Let's see what.
You see what I'm saying? There's a big difference of what's going on.
Well, I think we got like there's. Like I think I just saw an interview with the president of El Salvador, who has cleaned up El Salvador.
Nayib Bukele.
Yes, he's a G.
He went from the worst country in the world to the best country in the world.
It was the most dangerous country in the Western Hemisphere, more dangerous than Haiti, and now it is the safest country in the Western Hemisphere with lower murder rates than the United States, right? And so what he did was, anybody who was a part of the 2 major gangs out there, I don't want to say them by name, but, they're all in jail, right? Yes. But then he also, in this interview he said, anybody who had been in America or wanted to go back, I send them back. Like, make your way to America. And they're also, and Emilia Rojas was telling me that they also were doing that in Venezuela, where certain people who had longer prison sentences, they let them out as long as they
left the country.
They promised to make their way out of the country.
So again, that wouldn't be a problem for us if we would close the fucking border. Like if Venezuela and El Salvador, Honduras, all these countries are saying, "Hey, get the fuck out of here. We'll let you go free. You just can't be here." Okay,
you got to go somewhere else.
Go somewhere else. Why here? They're coming here because it's open.
Crazy.
Now, I'm not saying, obviously, I've had people close to me that have came over recently that are here for work,
There is good people. There's good and bad and everything.
But there is this huge spike of people coming in.
See,
that we've never seen before.
Yeah, I explain this and to somebody in this way. Say, for instance, you have a daughter.
Right.
You have a daughter and she's beautiful. You want to protect her. But there's somebody on the outside that wants to get your daughter from you. Okay? And then they tell the daughter's mom, Kevin's a piece of how people are hating against the government, against America. Like, there's people burning flags of this great country.
I think a lot of that shit's set up, to be fair.
And exactly,
what did he just say?
People are burning flags?
No, what it was.
How people are hating against the government, against America. There's people burning flags of this great country.
I think a lot of that shit's set up, to be fair.
And that's exactly my.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say for MC Magic to say what he's saying right now, bro. Him being an immigrant himself, you know, like
he's more American than a lot
like
of
there's
people we have
pride,
here.
bro.
Yeah,
like you gotta have some sense of pride here, like being an American.
Yeah,
you know, like.
And I can relate with him. This country, he said it. In other words, this country took care of him.
Mm-hmm.
This country was there to feed him, give him shelter, and of course
And
you're
now
gonna
that's being abused.
Yeah, and of course he's gonna learn to love it, and that's why he wants to. That's why he's speaking this way, because he's not saying Trump is perfect, but he's saying that Trump will protect our country. Trump will again prioritize America to where we can go back to that, to where we can help the right people, because right now we're helping the wrong people.
Exactly.
And
Wait,
Just to
so
stir
let's
us
go
up.
back to your daughter, right? So there's an outsider who wants to murder your daughter, who wants to probably rape your daughter.
Yeah.
Because you have a good family, you have a good country, you have a good thing. And so what they do is they first turn her against you. Your daddy's been doing this. So that's an agenda that's going on from the outside, so they can finally murder and rape your daughter. Her name's America.
Right. Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? And that's the agenda that really.
we'll end it right here.
You know, in radio.
We could just stop it there.
Yeah.
Um,
That's that there, man. Let us know your guys' opinion on how you guys feel about this. Obviously, it's a very touchy subject, but we're just trying to bring light into the situation. Like Marlon said, the elections are coming, and you know, for me personally, I want to see America strive. I want to see this country, you know, succeed and continue to strive as well, and all of us to strive.
Yeah, I'll keep it short. I'm not here to tell you what to vote, where to vote, how to vote, none of that. I will just say look at policy. Look at policy, and if this side makes more sense to you and aligns with what you want, go for that. But, you know, as far as attacking the personal people, don't get caught up in that. Don't get too emotional. Look at the policies, because that lasts a long time, longer than what...
That's what's going to come into effect.
Right. These presidents are here for 4 or 8 years. These policies are here for longer than that. So we'll leave it at that.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.